Welcome to I'd Play That for $1 here on the World 1-1 Podcast Network. I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week are my friends Chris John.
Hello.
Todd Oxtra.
Hola.
And Kathleen Jansen.
Hello.
And this is World 1-1 Podcast Network's brand new budget gaming friendly show where we find a game that's in our collection that we paid $1 or less for, and we give it a quick 5-minute or less breakdown and a real simple pass-fail review and let you know if I'd play that for $1. So this week, let's start out with who wants the floor first. Kathy, you want the floor first?
I can go first.
Go for it. What you got?
So this is
What'd
a
you
mobile
play?
game. This is a mobile game available on the Apple App Store and on Google Play. It's called Tomb of the Mask. It is a very simple puzzle game that you can get for free. Now, granted, you can pay for a subscription to get all the, unlimited lives, extra bonuses. Totally not needed. Totally just get the free base game. It is a good time waster. It's just something definitely to have on your phone. It is a lot of fun. It's just a simple swiping puzzle game as you work your way through a maze, and as the levels progress they get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more challenging. There are some enemies that come out and will try to prevent you, but it's something that you could easily get lost in for a few minutes at a time. And me being a completionist, my biggest goal was trying to get through the maze, collecting all the dots, collecting all the coins, collecting all the stars before progressing. But, it's just simple, very simple graphics. They even now have a sequel to it called Tomb of the Mask Color, where you have to fill in the space by moving around the maze. So, again, completely free. It does do occasionally ads, but not like most mobile games that are free where you have the ads. The ads are very sporadic. And I usually play it when I'm like away from a Wi-Fi and I have my cellular data turned off, so it's like completely free. I never have any bothers with it, and I really don't need... The game is simple enough that, yeah, it uses a lives thing where if you, don't make it through the maze or you get destroyed by one of the enemies, you will, you get like 5 of them and then you have to wait. But even that's about as much time as you need to play the game. You're not playing it necessarily trying to get through it all the way. It's just very addictive, very good, simple game to play when you're just waiting for something. And with 450 levels and more coming, you definitely can get your money's worth out of it for free.
I looked at this. It reminds me of like an old game called Montezuma.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
That's why I
remember Montezuma.
That's why I got it, because I was like, oh, this all reminds me of that. And I think I get a lot of my mobile games from other games where the ads will come in, and that's where I think I saw it. But it's just simple, and they've got a arcade mode. So in addition to the puzzles, they have an arcade mode where you can just go through and try to see how far you can last as you're being chased by a really flashing water bar coming up. So again, you don't need to pay the extras for it to get the full benefit of the game. And there are definite as you play the games, you earn power-ups, shields, and coins that you can use for extra lives again. So you got plenty of opportunities and you never have to spend a cent.
Nice. So definitely play that for $1.
Definitely play that. I wouldn't pay $1. I wouldn't pay $1. I would get the free version. I would not put a single dollar into it. I would just get the free version. So don't put any money into it. Get it for free.
Okay.
But it's definitely something to add to your phone as a kind of just a game to spend some time on.
Right on. I think we all have a few of those at least in our life. So.
Few.
Right. Let's see. Todd, what do you got this week?
Wowie wow. Well, the last game I played was a surefire hit. This game is a surefire miss, and that is Pool Panic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this game. Pool Panic is available on Switch and PC for $15. I got it through Humble. It's made by Reckham, was the developer. So take out well. This is an actual Adult Swim game, which made complete sense once I started playing it. It looks like that cartoon called Gumball. So it has that kind of aesthetic. Yeah, it's very weird and wacky, but it's a pool game. So like pool with, balls and you're basically trying to get balls in pockets, but you are the ball. You are the ball, and you get into other characters. And the game is very bizarre, has a very bizarre soundtrack by someone I've never heard of, but apparently they're very famous in a certain realm of music. But it is very weird. It says, and they even call themselves the world's least realistic pool simulator. And they've nailed it, because you're walking around and all of a sudden you're like, I'm just going to hit those guys in the pocket. And you're like rolling and you bring out your stick. And it's like, and you finish the level by getting everything in there. And it then ends, you can go into this like weird psychedelic, like, I guess, black hole. And you go to the next level. It's very weird, and I really couldn't discern what the challenge was in a way. I'm like, I don't feel like there's any penalty for doing something wrong or bad or being great at. You don't feel like you're getting anything from being good at it either. So I'm like, I don't know what to think. There's no challenge to this, and it wasn't like something else was keeping me along for the ride, because I'm like, I'm so glad I got this from Humble Bundle, because it was very, very like, I don't know what they were going for, but there are people that they crave these type of games. Just these very stream of thought, wacky, non sequitur oddness that they just crave, and I do not. So, Larry, Pool Panic, it's for somebody.
I'm actually kind of sad to hear this, because truthfully, I've had that game on my wish list on my Wii for a while now. And the reason being, or on my Switch rather. Yeah, exactly.
They closed that eShop, I believe. So sorry.
So it's probably still on there. It hasn't gone anywhere.
That's the reason they closed the Wii eShop, was this game.
Right. But I remember hearing, if I recall correctly, that Sterling actually did some voice work for Pool Panic.
I could see that. That makes sense.
So I believe they did some voice work for that, and I was like, that sounds neat. I kind of want to check that out now. But now I'm kind of sad to hear that it wasn't hitting the mark. But you said, kind of non sequitur. I'm wondering, does it have kind of like that Monty Python feel of humor then?
It's definitely Adult Swim humor. It definitely is Adult Swim humor, yeah.
So not just non sequitur, but it leans into like that weird, super awkward thing.
Super awkward. Like, you may love or hate the aesthetic they're going for. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody looks like the Lemon King from Adventure Time. It's the best way to put this.
So wouldn't play that for $1. You'd rather have a Nickelback?
I would. I'd rather listen to Nickelback. Oh, wait.
I love that this has officially become the review scale. I'd play that for $1. No, I'd rather have my Nickelback, please.
Yes.
Chris, what do you got this week? What'd you play?
Well, this week I got to play a game that I've been eyeing for a while. It was Detroit Become Human. And it was a game on the PS Plus subscription, where you can get that game for free as long as you have a PlayStation Plus membership. But it was a PS4 game. I've been playing this on my PS5, but it is essentially just a choose your own adventure game. You take on three different characters and their stories, and David Cage and his zaniness making these games. But it is you're basically figuring out, like, going through these characters' lives, and in this case, you're in Detroit in the future, and you are you take the role of three different androids in this game, and kind of just living their lives. And I'm assuming, as I didn't get that far, but you kind of all these characters will kind of interweave throughout the story, and it's pretty cool. It is it's a game where it can be a little stressful because any wrong decision and that character is dead for the entire rest of the game. So if you're into it, then by all means, then like to be sadistic and kill your characters, then yeah, this might be the game for you. But it's a very pretty game, but also mostly because you don't really play it that much as opposed to just kind of going through the story. But it is, I definitely give it a shot. Like, if you have a chance, it is on PlayStation and it's on PC. It's $30 on Steam from what I saw. I don't know what it is on PlayStation Store, but it's probably roughly around there at this point because it's probably one of those like PlayStation hits that you can pick up. Maybe it might even be like cheaper. It might be like $20. I'll have to do a better job of getting it.
It's been out for a while now.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend people giving it a shot if you haven't. It's also kind of cool as a couch cooperative kind of game in the sense that like you and your friends can help decide or your significant other help decide like what's going to happen to these characters making these decisions. So yeah,
so it's got like that fun play along thing where you could totally get a good room full of people going on Twitch and be like, all right, everybody, what do we do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one other way to play it. But yeah, I definitely play this game for $1. So
nice. Right
Chris,
on.
is there? I played some of the other David Cage games. Is there actual like gameplay too? Like there's moments of like combat or quick time elements, or is it truly you're just like choosing dialogue points?
For the most part, it's been choosing dialogue points. There are, especially on the PlayStation, because they tried to utilize the gyroscope and stuff like that in there. So there's certain parts where like you have to like, pour someone's glass of water, like do like little chinchy things like that. But other than that, like I haven't had to deal with any sort of combat or quick time elements yet. So
good to know. Right on. So let's see. This week I poked my head into the world of Yoku's Island Express. So Yoku's Island Express caught my eye a number of years ago, actually, and I have technically triple dipped at least on this game. I got a digital and a physical copy for the Switch, and then it landed on my PC free, compliments of the Epic Game Store a few weeks back, actually. And God, it's just so like feel good, happy fun. Like first and foremost, the music will just grab you. It's so upbeat and chipper and catchy and well done. But you play this little beetle who finds himself on the island as the island's new male bug. And you're essentially going around pushing this little ball of dung because you're a little dung beetle insect. And the ball is basically attached to you, and you're kind of rolling and getting flung through little miniature pinball sections that are all interconnected throughout this world, and all of which are very much so interconnected. And you pick up new abilities as you go along that let you further open up sections of the island to try and help out the island inhabitants from horrible things that are happening. And it's a pinball Metroidvania. It really is. And it's a ball. And I have so much fun wasting time in that game, just rolling around, pressing the button to blow the little party horn. So it's just confetti and a little party horn noise every like half second. It's probably the most annoying thing in the world to anybody sitting there while I play, but I don't care because it makes me happy inside. Because I'm pretty sure it's about physically impossible to not have a happy inside feeling playing this game. It's just so vibrant and colorful and well strung together. And as a pinball game goes, the physics are really fun. They're well done. The world design and the interconnectivity is actually very competently done. And the I hesitate to call it combat per se, but they do have bosses like strewn throughout as well. And those boss encounters are a lot of fun too. But I would say the only caveat is that if you are not a pinball person or you are easily frustrated by pinball, this is not your thing, because it's not super punishing, but you definitely have to have at least reasonably competent pinball skills and timing to progress. It won't just let you pass if you don't. So, but all told, currently I'm seeing it for like $20 on the Epic Game Store. I think that's about the same as what it's sitting on the Switch eShop as well. But it landed in my lap for free on the Epic Game Store, and so it was worth a revisit. And it is a ton of fun. And I would definitely play Yoku's Island Express for $1 and several more, because I paid for it repeatedly. So
Larry, you didn't call it a Pinballvania, which you said Pinball Metroidvania. I'm like, Pinballvania, man, it's waiting there for you to say it.
I know. Got to build that tension, that suspense. So, but the irony is too, there was a Metroid pinball game, but this is more Pinballvania than that was.
Very nice.
So,
it does have it does have very much a Ori like feel to it too. Like at least the art, like painterly, like you said, painterly art style. So that's kind of cool. Okay.
It was actually one of the first indies they showed for the Switch when it was announced. So that was on my radar from about 4 years ago.
Wow.
So, but yeah, no, definitely I would play that for $1, and I believe we've made the round. So unless I'm totally off my nut today. But
you did it, Larry. You did it.
Yay! I haven't lost my mind entirely yet. So
I'd buy this episode for $1.
Yeah.
Right. Which you don't have to buy this episode for $1, but if you're listening to us on Good Pods, you can totally tip us $1 on our tip jar on Good Pods as well.
There you go.
So, because Good Pods is wonderful, and it's like, the best place to podcast, be it listen or create. So, but let's wrap this up. I want to say thank you to all my friends for coming and hanging out. Kathy and Todd and Chris, and Kathy and Todd, I think, just disappeared off my screen. Who knows? Thank you to everybody that tuned in and listened, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good night. Peace.
Bye, everybody.